All right, and we're back here at Harvard Music Radio. That was a little bit of Doing It to the Death, part 1 and part 2. And like I said, I do this to the death of me, right? I love business. I love what it does to our economy. And I love what it does to the overall spirit of the man. So, my first guest tonight is someone who is amazing in his own right. He has, come to the trenches and developed his own accounting firm. So you guys know how I do each and every show. I'm going to pull up his mic and let him introduce himself. All right. Hey, Joseph, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Joseph, I want you to tell the listeners of Harvard Music Radio for the Business Knowledge Broker Hour with Candace Joseph about the greatness of who you are and your company.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Candace, for inviting me on the show. I've been really excited to speak to all the listeners. I would just say, so my name is Joseph Rinaldi. I'm coming to you live from Boston, Massachusetts. I received an undergraduate degree from Bryant University down in Providence, Rhode Island, and a master's in taxation from Northeastern, right here in Boston, Northeastern University. I'm currently a certified public accountant at PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is one of the big 4 accounting firms. And the reason I'm on the show today is because I just started my own firm, Rinaldi Financial. And so I'm currently accepting new tax clients, focusing on entrepreneurs and business owners. And basically, I'm just so excited to be talking to you because my passion is connecting business owners to the different tax resources that are available to them. With coronavirus and everything that we're all going through right now, there are so many different opportunities, so many different programs that are available, whether it's the Payroll Protection Plan loans, tax credits, CARES Act. There's just so much going on right now, and business owners are struggling and they're hurting and they're doing their best. And so what I want to do is connect those people that are hardworking to those resources.
Well, I have to say thank you for, being a change agent out here for entrepreneurs first and foremost. So, Joseph, tell the listeners a little bit about why you decided to open up your own firm. Because, you work for one of the big firms, okay? You work for the big 4, and people are like, okay, he got his career going. He, that's one of the best, all-around firms that are out there. Why did you decide to get into entrepreneurship, and why taxation?
Absolutely, yeah. So, the reason I decided to go into entrepreneurship, start my own firm, is that the big 4, they're great companies and they provide just such a necessary service to these massive companies out here in the world, the big publicly traded companies that you and I have all heard of.
Yeah.
But the little guy, they need access to these resources too. Small business owners, people that were open during before the pandemic and are now trying to evolve and adapt. People that have started small online businesses during the pandemic to get by. They deserve access to these resources too, and so that's what inspired me to start my own firm. I grew up in a small business family. My family had an Italian restaurant for 45 years before my parents retired and sold that restaurant.
Nice.
And so I know, yeah, thank you. And I know the hard work that goes into these small businesses. I know that families and business owners pour their hearts into it. And the last thing they should have to worry about is the tax man. Did they fill out their tax forms correctly? Did they get every credit that's available to them? That's why I want to be a resource for people.
Well, thank you for being that resource. And Joseph, I got a question for you, because I know right now a lot of entrepreneurs are tuning in, and they tune in each and every week. What's something that going into 2021 that they should look out for in regards to getting those tax paperwork together? 2020 is done, 2021 is here. So what's something that they should look forward to as far as being entrepreneurs and tax credits?
Absolutely. The first piece of advice in terms of looking forward is just keeping good records is the best advice that I can give to anybody. Mm-hmm. Because anything that is related to your business that's a business expense, like it's an actual expense of your business, with the accountant you work with, whether it's someone like myself or anyone really, they're going to be able to deduct that, which is going to save you money. But if you don't keep proper records and your business and your personal expenses are all mixed together, I guarantee you they're going to miss things, and it's going to become harder come the end of the year to discern what is a business expense and what is personal expense.
Yeah.
And so the number one most advice I can give is to just keep good records, and whatever that means for each person, whether it's, some people might prefer old-fashioned paper, some people might like a high-tech solution like QuickBooks, some people might be good to go with just a Google Doc, an Excel sheet, whatever. As long as it works for the business owner and they can keep on top of it and not get backed up, that's going to help out the accountant that they work with and make sure that they get every deduction that they legally deserve. Nice.
So this is a question I ask all of my guests that come on the show. Because you're someone who you decided to go ahead and take that leap and decided to be a change agent out here for, entrepreneurs and the services that you provide, right? So what's some advice that you give to someone who's deciding, okay, I'm a 9-to-5er and I want to decide if I want to take that leap? What are some words of wisdom that you would give them?
Absolutely. I would say that there's a lot of different things you can do for work in this world, and at the end of the day, you got to find something that you're passionate about. You got to find something that makes you happy. You got to find something that you can care about. And you know what? Entrepreneurship might not be for everybody. A lot of people like the stability and the teamwork aspect of a big company. That's great, and I love that works for a lot of people. But for the people out there that it doesn't work for, I think that there's so much untapped potential. People can go out on their own, especially with the internet and being able to reach millions and hundreds of millions of people all over the world just a click away. My advice is you got to find something that you're passionate about, that you care about, and that you can really pour your heart into. That way, the effort that you put in, you can get back 10 times fold.
Thank you for saying that. Because a lot of times people are, like you said, they're in those jobs and they need that stability, so they can take care of their families, take care of their responsibilities. But I always tell people that if you have that itch to be an entrepreneur, use that job as your springboard. Never take a career just because it's a career. Take it as a stepping stone, and make sure that each skill level that you get with that job, make sure they're stackable to the next job or to, entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Well, I was just going to add, and this is more towards your last question about what business owners need to be on the lookout for. But in addition to the advice I gave about keeping good records, they also want to make sure they're working with somebody who's aware of all the changes that have become because of COVID-19. One specific program that every business owner should be looking at is PPP, Payroll Protection Plan. These are loans for small businesses that are in many cases 100% forgivable, meaning you get a loan from the government and as long as you use it for payroll, which can mean employees, or it can mean yourself. If you're a sole proprietor, you're just doing this on your own, you don't have any employees, it can mean just yourself. And this is the government trying its best to keep small businesses afloat. And so those funds are available right now, but they're going away because they'll get used up very quickly. So make sure that they're working with somebody who's aware of the programs like payroll protection plans that are available because of the pandemic, and that they're getting every dollar that they really deserve because the government's putting these funds out there to help small businesses survive.
Yes, they are. And I think a lot of times people are, some people are a little leery about that. They're like, okay, a loan, do I really want a loan? But I look at it like this: either you want to sink or swim. You want to sink or swim at this point, and if this is a way that you can maintain, because I tell a lot of people that the reason why I love small business is because you are those people that come in and they buy into your journey, because entrepreneurship is a journey. Whether or not you sell a product or you have a service, they are along for the ride with you. So for me, anyone that patronizes me, I look at it like, okay, they're helping me fund my dreams. They're helping me pay payroll. They're helping me go in and pay those overhead costs. So I have to say, I am someone, I always tell people to look at all of your resources and look at grants too, because there are grants out there for small businesses.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Look, I first and foremost, let me give you a round of applause, Joseph, for going into the financial industry, because I know what it's like. I'm a degreed accountant. I took those taxation classes. So first and foremost, let me give a big ups to Joseph.
Thank you.
Round of applause, sir.
Thank you.
And the thing about it is, I love accounting. I love auditing. I love the intricacy of it. And for me, I always tell people I went into accounting because I saw it as a puzzle. I saw it as a puzzle and a strategy game, because you have to know the strategy behind it in order to know if you are profiting or not. So people say, oh, accounting is just math. No, it's not just math. It is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, but you got to know what you adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. That's just, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Look, that's just it.
Absolutely, and I would just say, just like you just said, like my family, we had a restaurant, and things were very old school. There was no computers in the business, no point of sale system, but it made it very difficult to make decisions, because a lot of the information that we'd like to have, overhead, percentage profit, all this, just wasn't available because there wasn't that information. So like you just said, it's more than just adding and subtracting. It's having the right information at your fingertips for business owners to make decisions.
Well, you know what? Thank you for being that change agent. Thank you for being someone who's there to provide that service, so where the entrepreneurs can get the information that they need in order to be great. Because a lot of people don't realize that if you take care of the numbers will take care of you, and that is the bottom line.
Absolutely. And one more note I'll add is another specialty of mine is real estate, rental real estate. If any listeners are considering or have already or recently invested in rental real estate, very important that they work with an accountant who specializes in this field. The government wants to incentivize people, small businesses, to invest in rental real estate to provide more housing and address the housing crisis in this country. So there are so many tax deductions, credits, and just bonuses that are available through the tax code to people who invest in rental real estate. And if you don't work with an accountant who specializes in this field, you might miss a lot of those different opportunities.
Well, you know what? I already know that I'm going to be giving Joseph a call this week, to talk about some real estate investment opportunities that have come my way. And I am always looking for, great people with that knowledge. And first and foremost, not only to just, to have, so for myself, so I can better myself, but for other people as well. And right now it is a buyer's market. It is a buyer's market.
With interest rates where they are.
Yep.
And things are kind of crazy. There's a lot of people making offers because interest rates are so low.
Yeah.
So everything that's being telegraphed by the government, interest rates are staying low. So now is the time to get these 30-year rates locked in, both at 4 and 3 and 2%, what have you, and really build some wealth for the long term.
And that's what it's about. People have to really tap into the fact that real estate is something that's generational. It's something that you can pass down from generation to generation. And the thing about it is, you can make income on it too. You can make income on the real estate that you own. Joseph, big props, man. We could talk all day about real estate. We could talk all day about accounting too, because those are both things that I am very passionate about. For those that are listening in tonight, Joseph, tell them how they can reach out to you to get that advice in regards to financial planning for their companies, tax services, and real estate.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, please feel free to find me on social media. Just look up my name, Joseph Rinaldi. But I'm going to give you my email. It's probably the best way to reach me, guaranteed. It's rinaldicpa@gmail.com. I'm going to read that one more time. It's RINALDICPA@gmail.com. And I'm also just going to shout out my number, which is 617-752-1712. That's 617-752-1712. But yeah, find me on social media, Joseph Rinaldi, and find me on Gmail, which is rinaldicpa@gmail.com. I'd love to connect with anybody, and obviously happy to answer any questions. I don't have an hourly rate. I'm not going to be charging for questions, but if there's after our discussion, if there's something that we can work together, whether it's a tax return or an analysis project, a very competitive rate, and especially if they are a small business, I guarantee we can find good programs that they can look into. And if they have rental real estate, then I guarantee you, if they're not working with the right real estate account, then we can save them some money, even on returns they've already filed.
Nice. I love it, Joseph. And look, I'm gonna throw something out there too. If you are a entrepreneur and you are tuning in and you want to buy another company, remember you have to do those due diligence items as well. So you definitely want to get with a CPA so they can go in and look at those books and records before you purchase another company.
Definitely. That's great advice.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being my guest tonight. And look, you and I are gonna have to touch bases at least once a quarter, because I want you to come back and tell entrepreneurs about, things that they should be looking out for. And look, we're gonna call it Joseph Tax Tips every quarter.
100%. I'd love to.
All right, Joseph. Thank you for being my guest tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
HighVolumeMusicRadio.com. The business knowledge broker out.
Hey, yo, Guru, you ready?
Business, marketing,